Okay, so we have 3 vocabulary words that we need to go through. The first one is called factored form. Okay, when I'm talking about a polynomial in factored form, I'm talking about a polynomial written as a product of factors. It's amazing that I said that 3 times and you still don't know. Okay. So when I'm talking about factored form, a quadratic in standard form would be x squared plus 5x minus 24. But in factored form, we're talking about a product of factors. So I'm writing it as 2 things multiplied to each other.
So basically just leave.
So the factored form is like what you started out with when you're warm up, and the standard form was the answer in your warm up.
225.
Like, that's a question at this point that you just look over at your neighbor's page and figure out what page you're on. Mrs. Wilman has already gotten grouchy about somebody asking that after I said it. We'll double check.
Brooks.
Shut up. Were you the one that just asked?
No. I said I hooked right to the baby.
Harry was the one.
I was doing my job.
It's not bad. How many you done, Lily?
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not.
Okay. Now, the reason we're talking about factored form is because we're going to use something called the zero product property. No matter what number we take, what is anything times 0? So anything times 0 equals 0. So if we have A times B equals 0, then one of them 0. It could be A, or it could be B, or they could both be 0. Now, when we're talking about the roots of a polynomial, the roots of a polynomial are really, it's a fancy word for solutions. Okay. 2 things you need to know about roots, aka solutions. Thing number 1. It's where y equals 0. Thing number 2, it's where we cross the x-axis. Those would be the solutions, aka the roots of our polynomial. We're going to focus during this chapter and next chapter on quadratics, which means x squared. Okay. So we're going to focus on there being two solutions. Okay. Yes, Ian.
Presuming this is yes, or but are we gonna learn the quadrant formula?
Yes. Yes.
What is that?
But not until next chapter. Next chapter? Hold on. This is 7, 8. Actually, not until chapter 9. I know. It's crazy. We're going to do quadratics for a really long time.
That sounds so.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to come down here. Are you ready? Okay. I want you to write down x minus 3 times x minus 9 equals 0. What do you think I'm going to ask you to do? Okay, I think those all mean the same thing. Figure it out. Solve for x. No, I'm not going to ask you to FOIL.
I was just repeating it.
Maybe think for yourself.
I do.
Okay.
I was
Hey, do you remember this right here that we talked about? Anything times 0 is 0. So if we have a product that equals 0, what do we know?
It's 0.
X
X would be 0.
Would x be 0?
Yeah.
Maddie.
No, X equals 9.
I think X was 10. Wow.
X equals 9.
They're both.
How?
Okay, so hold on. I really like the passion in our argument here. Hey, I said hold on. Okay, so first of all, Maddie has a question.
So if you say equals 0, what about 3 times 9?
Oh.
What does that do 3 times 9?
Okay, so we're not gonna FOIL. That would be more work than we need to do. Kyron, how did you get 9?
Because if X equals 9, then you have to subtract 9, which equals 0, and then multiply that and get 0.
So if x is, hold on. He's saying if x is 9, we have 6 times 0. Does that equal 0? Okay. Kyron, is there another number that would work? 3 would also work. Because we would have 0 times negative 6. So let's maybe talk about how we can figure out that 3 and 9 are our answers.
Get it?
Let's come back up to here. If a times b equals 0, then we talked about either a is 0 or b is 0, right? So if x minus 3 times x minus 9 equals 0, then either x minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 9 equals 0. We take our two factors and set them each equal to 0. Connor, if x minus 3 equals 0, what's x? Try again.
3.
Don't laugh. That you can laugh at. Harry, how many times do I fix your chair? This is why. Okay. Zayden, if x minus 9 equals 0, what's x? Okay. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? You don't know?
What is that?
X minus 3 times x minus 9.
I hate grass.
Hey, Kari, what number is this? So this is 0, 3. What number is this? So you're saying when I solved this, it gave me where we cross the x-axis. Yeah.
Why is it not -3?
Because you have to add the number.
So because we are solving x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, you know what? I'm really frustrated right now because there's a lot of talking and I'm trying to answer somebody's question. Get back in your seat and sit like a normal human and start the chit chat. Okay. X minus 3, we set it equal to 0, which means we have to add 3 to get it over to the other side of the equal sign. Is that okay? Okay. If we plug 3 back in, 3 minus 3 equals 0. That's what we want. 9 minus 9 equals 0. That's what we want. So what I put in Desmos is this right here, and it graphed it. Okay. So we solved for 3 and 9, which the graph showed us. That's where we hit the x-axis. Okay. Yeah.
If we had x plus 3 and x equals -3, would it just be on the other side?
Okay. So let's write this one down. What if I had 2x times x minus 4 equals 0? Okay, what are our two factors? What are we multiplying that equals 0? 2x and x minus 4. Those are the two things we're multiplying that equals 0. So 2x equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. Yes.
X either equals 4 or x equals 0.
Do you agree?
Oh.
Okay. We're going to get 2 right answers. So this is what it looks like. We have 2x times, was it x minus 4? So notice how this strange looking graph, it's called a parabola. We'll talk more about it. But notice how this parabola intersects the x-axis at
0
and
4.
crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Okay, this is what I want you to do. Turn the page. Would you please solve those 3? Feel free to work with your elbow partner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with that? Don't turn it off.
Well, I just came to check on it.
Like the ground.
Like you asked.
Like the ground. Oh, yeah, it's higher down.
Look, it's like, it's face down, it's not really doing anything wrong.
Okay, answer those 3.
Sure.
It can equal a negative number.
Oh,
Negative 1, that's great. 0, -5, that's great. Okay, well, you're gonna have to write 2b minus 6. I don't know about the negative. Because if we subtract these.
Miss Helen, her dad grinds.
Yeah.
Let's get the next area.
Is the answer
Let's get the next
to
area.
Hey, Kyron, I respect that you need to blow your nose. Please don't bother anybody else's breath.
Please don't waste more tissue than you have to. Yeah.
Hey, Brooks. Brooks, back to place. Okay, Brooks, what'd you get for number 1?
X equals 0 and X equals -5.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? You agree with Brooks? Okay, X equals 0 and X plus 5 equals 0, so X equals -5. That's great. Okay, Ellery, what about number 4? What'd you get? Thumbs up, thumbs down. You agree with Ellery? Just give me a thumbs up then. So C minus 2 equals 0 gives us the 2. C plus 1 equals 0 gives us the -1. Okay, now this one, we had to work a little bit harder to get there. Henry, what do we do in number 5?
And then just simplify. Well, 306 divided by 2, and then 2 dots. Equals 4 or B equals 4.
Henry, do you agree with Henry?
Yeah.
Good. It's hard to disagree with Henry. All right, we don't have to all say how we feel. Okay, now what about this number 7? What?
I think it's just 3.
And why is it just 3?
Because if you square it, it's just multiply it by itself.
So basically, we have X minus 3 equals 0 2 times. So we have the answer of 3.
But then how would that graph?
How would that? No. It is not a straight line.
Just be like,
Negative and the
oh, that's what's all there.
So it's just his lowest point.
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll be important when we actually go to graph them. Right, Connor? Right, Connor? I had to say your name twice before you heard me. That's a large book. It's not slow because it's not a line. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll get there. Okay, now do not panic if you get rational answers. What do I mean by rational? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and want you to keep them as fractions, but look at number 8. If we take 3D plus 7 equals 0 and 5D minus 6 equals 0, then what happens when we solve these? We are going to get 3D equals -7, which means D is -7/3. Please keep it as an improper fraction. We are done with mixed numbers. Done. Huh? I mean, I wouldn't say never, but over here, 5D equals 6, which means D is 6/5. This is how I want you to leave your answers. I don't care.
I thought you like simplify.
Like, do you know that 7/3 is 2 1/3?
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. We don't need to write it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in algebra, mixed numbers really don't help us. Like if I gave you this as D plus 2 1/3 times D plus 1 1/5 and I told you to FOIL that out, that would be absolute madness. But if we have them as improper fractions, it goes so much smoother. Okay. We don't add numbers to multiply. Okay. Hey, but you don't have to be mean back.
Let's watch this video.
Oh, yeah. I'll squash you.
Henry, you're acting up.
Okay. Do you know what happens next Wednesday? Quiz.